My next one is gonna have to be Iron Man 1. It's definitely the best Phase 1 movie, and I feel like the only reason it's not higher than any of these is because I feel like there's not anything that like really wowed me. It wowed me how good the movie was still, but other than that, nothing really amazed me. Like, it's not crazy or anything. Like, you know, like, you don't have, like, I don't know, like the Winter Soldier at the end of the movie, they had like the big ships coming down, like, in an emotional ass moment between Bucky and Cap, like something like that. Like, the last act is kind of bad, but you know what? This movie is good for the memes, for Jeff Bridges.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
I really like the character when he's stuck in the cave, and I really like the emotional attachment that he has to the other character inside of the cave. Can't remember his name, but you know, I remember what happened. But I really do like Iron Man 1, but sadly it's not above any of these. Alright, so Guardians 2 is going to be the next one. I don't understand why Guardians 2 gets so much shit. I don't understand. It's a fucking good ass movie. It is good. It is such a good movie. I feel like it's up there with Guardians 1 almost. Like, it is so good. I don't understand why people are giving this movie such shit. I don't even know, like, what I think. This movie is really, like, it really dives deep on the characters. It has so much character development that it just is amazing. Like, there's so much character building in this movie and everything, and Yondu is the fucking MVP of characters. He's really good in this. I think all the characters are really good in this. I think everyone gets a thing to shine, like a time to shine, and I think they all get like a little good character moment that's really nice, and I feel like it fucking works. The only thing I feel like it doesn't work is that the comedy is a little bit too... The comedy kind of takes away from the tone of the movie, but... Okay, moving on. Guardians of the Galaxy, kind of think the same thing. It's a really character-driven movie. It's really good, but I just don't think Guardians 2 has the charm that Guardians 1 has. I think Guardians 1 is just a little bit more enjoyable because of that. I think it can be... Like, the comedy doesn't undercut the tone of the movie as much as it does in Guardians 2, I think. And I think that's the defining factor between those. And I think just the opening scene in general is really good. And it really sets the tone for the movie, and I really like it. And if I had any problems, the last act isn't too bad, but it's kind of like just explosions everywhere, and it's kind of like all right. But moving on, the next one is Avengers. Avengers 1 is really good. I feel like it shouldn't have been that good, because I don't think anybody had an idea that it was gonna fucking work that well. I think it has really good scenes and very quotable lines, and I think everyone gets time to shine in the movie. I think Hulk's not a bitch like he is in the later MCU movies. I think Iron Man and Captain America get a lot to do, and I think it's cool how they kind of set up Civil War and everything. And they, you know, one of the funnier Marvel movies for sure. It has really good action scenes. I think some of the action scenes in the movie are so fucking cool, like especially at the end. This has one of the best third acts of any Marvel movie. The like when they like team up, like it's hero and hero on like in an action scene, it's like a one shot. It's really fucking cool. Like, I think it has a perfect build up. Like, the pacing is really good, and I feel like this movie overall is really good. But there's no problems. There's really like no problems for this movie. It's just kind of like maybe some of the jokes don't land. There's this one fight with Iron Man and Thor, which Thor should fucking body Iron Man. Kind of doesn't make any sense, but other than that, I think it's really good. So I don't know. We're coming close to the end, and I know people are gonna be mad. So okay. All right. Avengers Endgame. I think Avengers Endgame is really good, and it's so close to being God tier. There's things in this movie that really fucking work for me, and then there's things that really don't work for me in this movie. In Endgame, I don't like fat Thor. I understand where they're coming from. They're trying to make the character like, this is what would happen if you like lost and you went depressed, and like, I understand it, but it didn't work for me for the whole movie. He was played more of a joke as he was like, then he was played more of a joke than he should have been, I think, and I don't like that. Captain Marvel didn't even need to be in this movie. I feel like, spoilers for Endgame, but you probably already knew that, but I feel like Captain Marvel didn't need to be in this movie, but when she did come in, she kicked ass. But I feel like her appearances are so random, both of them, and I feel like Tony Stark didn't even need to die, because I feel like Captain Marvel could have destroyed the fucking ships in like 5 minutes and it would have been over, and I don't think that he needed to use the gauntlet. But I understand where they're coming from. I did like when Tony used the gauntlet and everything, but Captain Marvel literally just comes out of nowhere in the beginning of the movie and the end. Literally, I don't understand what the reason for her being there is. In the end of the movie, she literally comes out of nowhere. She just comes out of nowhere and saves the day. And there's this really forced like women part that's just is so forced and cringy. The more that I think about it, it's like, oh god. And a rat saves the universe. I mean, the rat is the MVP. Fuck all the other Avengers. Cross out Iron Man. Cross out Thor. Cross out Hulk. Cross out Captain America. Cross out any character you can think of. The fucking rat is the savior of the day. Not none of these fucking Avengers. Fuck them. But other than that, I feel like this movie has a really a lot of good shit in it. I feel like, when Captain America picks up the fucking hammer, bro, like that shit was crazy, bro. Like, that was my favorite part of the movie. That shit was so raw. I'm a big Captain America fan. And him picking up the hammer, literally, I jumped out of my seat. I was like, what the fuck? Iron Man using the gauntlet is really fucking cool. I feel like it's really cool how they use I Am Iron Man, like, to finish his arc. It makes the perfect sense. I feel like it's really good. I like Thanos. I like seeing everybody when everyone came back and Captain America said Avengers Assemble. That shit was so fucking raw. I like how they went back in time to get the stones. Yeah, but there's a lot I like about this movie. I feel like Hulk doesn't really redeem himself. Like, he doesn't get much chance to redeem himself, is what I'm saying. And I didn't like that, but I really wish there would have been a 1v1 with Thanos or something like that where he would have whooped his ass, but sadly there's not. Also, I think the Black Widow and Iron Man deaths, I think they're both kind of like, in my opinion, I think Black Widow's death is almost just forgotten about really quickly. Like, it's one scene they get sad about, and then the next scene they're like, okay, we're good. And they don't really talk about it till like the very, very end, and then it's like a 2-second scene, and they're like, I hope she remembers it, or I wish she was here to remember or see this, and she's like, she knows it happens, and I'm like, okay. And that's that. I mean, Tony's is better, obviously. I think Tony's is really sad, but I think that it doesn't really like, no one is sad about it except for Pepper, John Cheadle, Happy Hogan. Like, those are the only ones that are kind of sad about it. Everyone else, it's just kind of the funeral, and then that's it. That's the end of the Tony scene. It's like, all right, kind of just glossed over Tony's death, you know, the most important character in the MCU, but it's fine. It worked for what it was, I think. Even though I would have personally liked a little bit more emotional, like, attachment, or like or emotional send-off for the character. Okay. Now we're down to the last 4, and we're gonna go into God tier. Thor Ragnarok. It's pretty weird having the first 2 Thors at the bottom and then the third Thor on the top. But Thor Ragnarok is so fun. It's the funniest Marvel movie to me. I really like Hulk's inclusion in the movie. I think Thor himself, I love that Thor like they get rid of the traditional Thor, the boring ass Thor. Now people say he's too funny, but I think it's fine. It works for his character, because his character before is fucking garbage, but it works now. I think I love Korg. Korg is so fucking funny. Meek, I like Heimdall's inclusion in this movie. It feels like he has more to do in this movie than any other fucking movie. I really like everything. I like the setting. I think every scene is pretty enjoyable. Like, I don't think there's a boring scene in the movie to me. I think Jeff Goldblum's character, I like. I can only say what I like. I like Loki. I like everyone's inclusion. I like that. I like little stuff, like Thor being able to figure out that Loki is gonna betray him again. Like, that quick scene, just it gives you an idea of an actual character arc, like development, like he learns, you know. And it's something that the two Thor movies were lacking, because it just feels like every time Loki tries and does something, he just succeeds, and then Thor has to eventually stop him. But it's like, this time Thor's like, fuck this, I'm not dealing with this, and I like it. But yeah, there's really cool action scenes in this movie too. I think the last one especially is really fucking amazing, when Thor actually activates his actual power. But yeah, other than that, this one is so good. You guys have to give this one a watch. Yeah, fuck these two. These two are garbage. Don't watch those. But this one is the one you have to watch, because it's really enjoyable. It's very colorful too, and I like it. Like, it's very like bright and, you know, everything like that. And unlike these two little piece of shits right here. Like, Thor 2 and Thor are just the most generic looking fucking movies to me. Like, the tint of gray can't get worse. Okay. This is the biggest two of the biggest fucking things for me. I don't know. I'm gonna put Winter Soldier next. I think Winter Soldier is a really good movie. I think the villain's great. I think the development for Captain America, I think like him being out of time really works in this movie the best. I think even Black Widow gets good development. I think Nick Fury is really utilized in this movie really well. I like that, like, no one is safe basically in Hydra or in Shield, and I like that they're secretly working for Hydra. It's like it's really cool, and the action scenes are so amazing in this. When Captain America gets the fucking shield and he throws at the helicopter and then like does some cool shit, like, that's so creative for a Captain America movie. Like, because Captain America, you know, is like a fist fighter, so you got to create stuff, and I feel like that's a really creative thing and cool thing. And then the emotional scene at the end with him and Bucky is amazing. I think there's so much emotion behind it, because that's his friend, and it just works. Like, there's nothing really wrong about the movie. I don't think that there's anything that I dislike about the movie at all. And so yeah, same goes for Civil War. Civil War, it's really fucking good. I know it's usually lower on people's list, but a Civil War to me is what I would want in a superhero if it's a superhero movie. Like, I feel like this movie has so much stuff to juggle. It juggles Captain America being the main character, but having different ideals with Iron Man struggling to, you know, sign the accords, you know, Bucky, him finding Bucky, whether to put him in prison or not, like, introduces Black Panther, Spider-Man. I feel like it does it all really well, though. I think that this movie, especially at the end, like, the ending has so much emotion behind it. Like, you can see in Captain America's face that he doesn't want to fight Iron Man, but Bucky is the only thing from his past.
He's my friend. So was I.
So he has to fight for him, and it just really makes for some good action sequences. I think the action sequences at the airport and the ending are some of the best in the Marvel the Marvel universe, like I feel like they're really fucking good. Like, oh my god, that scene at the end when they're fighting and he goes, he's sorry, Tony, he's my friend. He goes, so was I, and I was like, oh shit, like that shit was pounding on my heartstrings. I was like, fuck, dude, I don't know what to think. And yeah, even the court stuff, it I like how now it plays into other movies like Endgame and Infinity War, and it kind of has more of an effect, even though I know it doesn't have an effect after Thanos attacks. But I like that they still bring it up, and I like how Tony has like he has beef with Steve Rogers since he wasn't there in Infinity War because of Civil War. And I think Black Panther's arc in this is so fucking good. It's so good. Him learning not to strike with vengeance and not to have vengeance for anyone anymore is fucking amazing. I love it. I love that movie. I could watch this movie. I've already watched the movie like 10 times. It's fucking good. But you know, the last movie, the best Marvel Cinematic Universe movie to me, is gonna have to be Infinity War. I love this movie. This movie is perfectly paced. The ending is amazing. I think this is basically, if none of these characters got any fucking shine in their movie, they're getting some shine in this one. Like Doctor Strange, I think, is a big contender of that. Like he gets a lot of shine in this movie. I think Spider-Man gets a lot of shine in this movie. Who else? I think all the Guardians, pretty much. Like everyone is where it is organic and it works for the story, and everyone has their own thing to do. Like everyone is always doing something. Like no one is really like there to just be there. Like they're there for something. And I mean, the only kind of downside I can see with this one is maybe, I've seen some people say some characters don't get enough to do and it's a little bloated, but I feel like every character gets a little bit moment of shine, whether it's Black Widow or it's Thor, you know, like everyone gets their moment to shine. And Infinity War is just amazing. It's got really good pacing with, you know, cutting back from Titan to this to that. And Thanos is such a great villain in this. He is such a great villain. It's his movie. And this movie, and the way it ends, it still gives me chills. Like it's crazy. Like the ending is so fucking good. And it's when I remember walking out of the theater the first time I saw this, and I was just like going into the movie, I was like, Iron Man, Captain America's probably gonna die, but they threw your expectations out the window, because when you walk out and you realize what happened in Infinity War, you're like, oh shit, like I don't even know, like you genuinely do not know how they will come back from this. And it's just amazing to see the villain win at the end of the movie, and just have Thanos win and see that ending scene with Thanos. It's fucking amazing. This is why this movie is the best for me. Like it's so rewatchable to me. Like it's 2.5 hours, but like it's so rewatchable. I think like I've watched it like 7 times. It's the Marvel movie I've seen the most. So yep, there's my list. So I think I'm done. I pretty much ranked them as best I could. I hope that my list is pretty much the same as your guys. No, okay, this is gonna be the average tier. We're gonna put that as average. Not okay. I don't know why I put as okay. Okay, I don't know why I put above average, but we're gonna assume that is better than average. So this is my list. I hope you guys like the list. At least I filled every spot, so I mean, fuck it. But alright, if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one.